I just saw the news that Anyland is going to basically be dead. Servers are shutting down soon. There are some efforts to archive things and potentially create, like, I believe, at least a single player, maybe peer to peer local server so you can run an instance of Anyland on your own computer. But for the time being, it's basically dead. And so, decided to give a bit of a tour of my Anyland home before it goes down. And I wanted to do it in the style of roughly what Jinx does, at least early on. The stuff that inspired me to make cool things in Anyland in the first place. If you're one of the many people who are waiting for my next Bone Lab thing, it's coming along. I'll put like a picture or two of some character models and work in progress scenery I'm working on. It'll be cool. You'll hear more once I get more done. That all said, let's put in appropriate avatar for this area, because this was designed with a sort of fantasy theme, sort of in the vein of Elder Scrolls, and so we have a little dragon guy here. Basically, I think I remember starting this how long ago? Wow, that's a while ago. I remember placing down this hill first, and then I was thinking of putting a big castle here instead, but it kind of turned into more of a nature-oriented theme as I sort of developed this world and this character in my mind, and I sort of honed in on this natural aesthetic based around just, generic fantasy forests, but also the big toppled over redwoods in California. And so, I don't know, it's just a nice, calm aesthetic, and that's why I added stuff like the rain, because I just really like the smell and sound of rain. It's very soothing, and so this took on more of a natural, just fantasy, relaxing sort of zen approach, even going as far as adding just the sound of running water and then the little ripples in the pond here. I literally just, as I was scaled up very large building this cave, I remember just getting the idea, like, what if I put a hole through the top so like sunlight can come down through it, or maybe, oh my gosh, rain could come down. And then it's like, well, okay, rain kind of, you might have noticed it, it clips through, but I was thinking, where would it all kind of collect? And I thought of just this little pond here, with the idea of being able to sit by it and have these wax candles just dimly lighting it. And then there would be skipping stones you could throw onto there sometimes and toss them just right. Like that. And they won't immediately splash. So it's just nice and relaxing. I struggled for a while with getting the water to behave appropriately, because if you put your head under here, it's not very pretty or clean, and you used to be able to teleport very easily out, and then there's that stuck button in case you manage to get yourself trapped in there. So that was always a little jank, but no one's ever really bothered going in the water much. So it worked out in the end. I think from there, the idea of just having a wooden platform came to me, just thinking back to Skyrim's caves and everything. Just sort of trying to give it a rustic and maybe sort of like independent yet homely kind of feel. Like the character that lives here made this platform themselves. I wish I could have done it a little less cleanly. I wanted to seem a bit more amateur, but it is what it is. It's just a small platform. This is where they sleep and write and put all their trinkets. The idea behind this character was that they used to be an adventurer until they took an arrow to the knee. More seriously, though, the kingdom that this takes place in was over had its king overthrown, and so Dragonkind was basically banished. They're not allowed in the kingdom anymore, along with other magic creatures, but that starts to sound more like the plot of Shrek than an original thing. And so that put them at war with the nearby elven kingdoms, and it forced a lot of the orcish people to just go back home and do whatever orcs do. And it forced this guy, right there, to go into hiding because he doesn't really have anywhere else to go. And so he's just turned this whole inconspicuous cave into his peaceful little domain. Oh, there's a bird that comes by like every 10 to 15 minutes. I think a bird will come in from the top there and land and just prune its feathers and then come back out. There's little details that I've added like that over time. This video is going to be very rambly and off the cuff if you haven't noticed. So we'll take a look at some of the little things we got here. This is a Wiggler from Monster Hunter World. It's too high poly, ridiculously so. This thing is not safe for your frame rate, which is why it's so quick to like fade out, stop rendering, because I'm conscious of that. This avatar is poorly optimized too, honestly. But I had a very specific look that I wanted for them, so I did it anyway. We got a little hand crossbow. Just a simple little thing. I think I made this on a stream before, if any of you caught that. There's this device, which in the sort of canon of my character here, is what allows him to do portal magic. He doesn't really fully understand it. He's kind of bad at it. The text here says "Sase un testas," which is sort of a phrase derived from an old, like, what do you call it? Those fake languages that never go anywhere, but you make them anyway. It basically means "look upon the stars." That's what that is. If you guys are interested in the Bone Lab lore, and you want to figure it out for yourself, don't watch this video. I'm gonna be divulging a lot of information about the main 2-3 characters that will be making cameos in there, in their sort of areas. This whole area is going to be in the Bone Lab thing that I'm doing, so stay tuned for that, I guess. From there's this little mouse toy, some cookies, very old coin. If any of you guys are fans of big data, this is Lizzie. Just miscellaneous little candies, because this character really likes food and cooking and loves sweets and pastries and stuff. Trophy, I believe, for a hot dog eating competition. Yep. Golden spoon. A pen inspired by a pen that I got from supporting the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages. A little ship in a bottle. A Daedric sword from Skyrim. The Blender default cube, which we always delete. A little coin from the kingdom. Little, you know those little cat things that are supposed to bring good fortune and whatnot? It's basically that, but not a cat. Little fake candles here, just because I wanted to be exotic. Acrid from Risk of Rain 2. And 1. Actually, he's from 1, but vaguely based this more off of 2. A little tea kettle, if I can grab it, which does work with a little tea cup, so you know. And then more lore stuff. This is this character's that I'm in, the avatar has a sibling that's a toy maker. So they just make little things. We got more of stuff relating to me, because this is also my regular home. While I do like the idea of playing this character and everything, it's also just like nice to have things that I like. So this is the Razzmatazz album from I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and the little microphone that Dallin Weeks has. That takes you to a unique area based around Leave Me Alone and or Do It All the Time, which are two of their songs. Some books on how to read. Fan book. A little magazine. A ring. It shows basically my profile. There. Little quill and paper, ink. Fans of Wayne Radio TV might recognize the game clam with its slappable buttons. And the pearl. From there we have the Nargacuga insect glaive from Monster Hunter. There is a kinsect, and I believe it has, some slight functionality in being able to direct a kinsect, but I didn't really finish that. Valstrax's sword and shield. Valstrax's hammer, which, let me grab it from my inventory instead, because that's just more convenient. Valstrax's hammer, which does change color and sort of charge up. The Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. A little magic staff here. I've been looking at this and didn't make any comment on it. Pretty basic little thing. Just shoots projectiles. Painting. Based off of some vector art that I did while coming up with a character design. Inside one of these barrels is a crap load of candy because he really likes his sweets. I think in this barrel is a bunch of tutorial related stuff, just Anyland menus scattered about, because I wanted to make teaching tools for people who were joining Anyland, but it's not exactly gonna happen anymore with the game shutting down and whatnot. But I have a whole bunch of little custom made diagrams. I know people have done this before, but these ones I've done myself. Fish. There's like probably an Ella's real type nonsense thing, Easter egg, but if you take this fish and hook it onto here, make a rope drop down, you can touch it and it'll take you to the top of the cave, which I was hoping to do more with, add a bit more mountain, but there's a certain point where like the lighting just kind of like cuts off and looks bad, and I just was done with that. From there, bow and an arrow, which you go back to fire. Spyglass that I wanted to get working doesn't actually work. Go figure. I wanted to put some little markings on the top here, but I just never bothered. Alright, we're getting kind of close to basically exploring everything. There's some chairs here that you can take out and sit on, just in case guests come by and that log isn't enough. This shelf here, we have a little medallion, some index controllers, a old little floppy disk, a little doll that my friend made, a wiggler bean, which will turn your head into a wiggler's. Go. Which, by the way, that is very expensive, like resource expensive. Headwear, it is bad, don't wear it. My cheap attempt at making an index headset. Another little toy with some gold. An electrical socket, which will zap you if you stick like a fork in it. If you put in an object named fork, it'll zap you. Some crystals. I sort of like the just idea of geodes and stalactites, I believe they're called. Just inside this cave. So here's a letter from the sibling of the character, but I've changed the character's name. When I did this Anyland stuff, the character's name was still not really settled on, so I just used my username because I figured people would probably just know me by that. There's that little one. So. Little ones kind of ease you in with that letter, and then you would be like, oh, well, these big ones look just like the little ones. So, you know. Solving that takes you to this little entrance here. And that leads you to my hidden little arcade cave with arcade games. They're very basic little things, but, you know, they do the trick at being mild entertainment. Basically, just one button arcade game, shooting gallery, and then like a little hoop throwing game where you throw basketballs into a hoop. Obviously, you can just... A little stage with what was a working screen that had one particular video that I love. There's a kid at a talent show singing Living Tombstone FNAF song. They didn't even play him any backing tracks or anything. He just kind of stood there awkwardly. That's a great video. This mic does make your voice transmit across the entire area, as small as it is. And a little cave currency teller, so you can see how much money you've earned from the games, and you can basically play a little gacha and get a random prize, which you can see here, these small prizes and big prizes. And more of this. I didn't even really talk about this. This is what I hand people to allow them to teleport to my main cave, which it really wants me to. So I guess we'll wrap up. Yeah. Oh, shoot. There's one last little area, actually. We won't be wrapping up. If you turn around and go this way, you'll head towards just more of a central area within the fantasy kingdom that I devised. And overhead there's a bird. I think if you wait about 30 minutes, you'll find a dragon fly by. Just sell that fantasy theme. Horse with a little wagon. Toy. I had this in the other area, but there's a little forum thing that you can look at, which had a bunch of stuff that I just wanted to talk about or share. A little target practice thing using that bow from earlier, and there's the target all the way out there. I get that. There we go. Forgetting what button does what because it's been too long. Area for a campfire and just a river to sit by. Took a lot of effort to kind of give a illusion of this being a river. I wanted it to be more crooked, but I lazed out. Yeah, that's about everything for my little home areas of Anyland. If you want to get a better look at this guy here, we can do that real quick. Unmute so you can see them when they talk. Not entirely sure how to really wrap things. I'm a little bummed that Anyland couldn't really be saved, and I gave it my best shot. I'm not really the biggest platform. I don't really intend to be. I sort of just upload at my own pace, on my own whim, about whatever I want, generally. But for those of you who care about Anyland and want to hang out while we're... Oh, there it is. There's the dragon. Not very well animated. I don't think people would have stayed here that long. Yeah, I'm probably going to be in Reasonite. I'm obviously going to be in Bone Lab until the next thing comes along. Yeah. I'll be Dari or LegendDari on those platforms. I'll be putting out a complete review of Monster Hunter Rise eventually, because they finally put out their last update. I've just been lazing out on maxing, like 100%ing it at. And Bone Lab mod, I'll be doing a multi-part little campaign thing, releasing one area at a time until it's done. Yeah.